The Minneapolis push to defund the police backfires as the City Council unanimously votes to spend millions of dollars for more police. It doesn't get more ridiculous than this. In this video, we're going to take a look at the epic fail of the Defund the Police movement, how such a movement has made a wasteland of Minneapolis, and how these failed cities are more and more becoming symbols of the failed policies of the Democrat Party. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in the midst of these trying and turbulent times, helping you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We would love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also, for you Rumble fans, we're almost at about 100,000 subs, so please subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below. And for you podcast fans, make sure to click on the link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms as well. We are now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary, and with your help, we're going to make it to #1. Now, before we dive in here, we have a special President's Day sale for all of you. For just today only, you can get your own Nationalist Populist book bundle at a 40% discount. That's right. As of today, you can get 5 of my best books in the rise of nationalist populism all over the world at a super discount. So we're talking my book, The New Nationalism. We're talking The Return of Christendom. We're talking President Trump and Our Post-Secular Future. We're talking The Triumph of Tradition. That's actually one of my favorites. And we're talking Uprising on the Yellow Vest Populist Revolt. All you have to do is click on that link below in the pinned comments section. You're going to get a coupon for 40% off all 5 books. And you even have the option to get some really cool swag as well, like our Turley Talks tumbler. So don't wait. It is our President's Day special. It is good only for today, February 15th. So click on that link below and get 40% off our Nationalist Populist book bundle today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Look, we're not even a year out from the fallout from the George Floyd riots that swept across the country over the summer, right? We're not even a year out. And already we're beginning to see a massive mea culpa coming from the very city where the race riots all started. The Minneapolis City Council, which originally voted to defund the city police department, has just voted unanimously to approve over $6 million in additional funding for the police after a massive backlash against the Defund the Police efforts. After month after month of rising crime rates, the very ultra-left Marxist City Council that initially voted to completely defund the police department is now giving them $6 million more than the police requested. Now, this should be front page headline news in every single major news outlet, right? This is a humiliating admission of political defeat, of the ridiculousness of the whole defund the police insanity. But of course, it's not on the front page of every major news outlet, and that's precisely because it was precisely these so-called news outlets that promoted and supported the calls to defund the police, that were supposedly so infested with white supremacist racism. But the consequences of that absurd BLM movement were horrific, and Minneapolis was ground zero for the fallout of these far leftist social engineering. You recall that it all began with the ultra-left Minneapolis City Council voting unanimously to disband the Minneapolis Police Department and replace it with some kind of nebulous community model. They never quite explained precisely what such a community model would be and how it would work, but it didn't matter. Crime skyrocketed throughout Minneapolis. Things were so bad in this Democrat-run monopoly. Things were so bad that you actually had the Minneapolis Police Department a few months back officially announcing that the citizens of Minneapolis actually ought to expect to get mugged and robbed. Law and order had so broken down in Minneapolis that if you're living there, you should expect to be a crime victim. This was not a joke. This was not from the Babylon Bee. This was not satire. You literally had headlines, real headlines that read, Minneapolis police tell residents to obey criminals and be prepared to be robbed. We have a city run by liberal narcissist psychopaths on the city council. You end up with a city where the police chief stands up and publicly declares to their citizens that they need to obey the criminals. You need to obey the criminals, and you need to be prepared to be robbed. And of course, with this kind of feckless leadership, crime of all kinds has surged beyond comprehension in Minneapolis. Auto thefts have jumped 46%, robberies soared 36%, shootings are up, homicides are up, and we could see why. A record number of police officers have quit after being thrown under the bus by these left-wing activists on the city council. As a matter of fact, the entire city of Minneapolis only has about 600 police officers available to work, represent about a 25% reduction in the police force since the summer. And the citizens of Minneapolis are feeling the pain of this with a massive spike in crime that ironically seems to have taken the leftist ideologues of Minneapolis City Council completely by surprise. Now, before we get into that, I do want to make sure you get our free gift just for you. Make sure to click on the link below and download your own fake news antidote. We've updated our compilation of about 30 alternative news sites that I go to for my news each and every day. They are all conservative. They're all celebrating Trump and the nationalist populists, revolt all over the world. And boy, do we need these news resources now more than ever. You can download your own copy of our updated fake news antidote completely free at the link down below in the pinned comment section, and have a ready list of your go-to sites that you'll definitely enjoy and are going to inspire you through these trying times. It's yours absolutely free by clicking on the link below. It's my gift to you. All right, so city council members were describing their constituents as terrorized by a massive crime wave that swept throughout their nation recently. Their constituents, the vast majority of which, by the way, do not want the police defunded and abolished. Every single poll we have shows that blacks overwhelmingly want the police presence increased in their neighborhoods. But alas, these same city council members who denied that request and instead voted unanimously to abolish their police department, these same council members, they were shocked to find out that their own constituents were complaining that whenever there's an emergency, the Minneapolis police were nowhere to be seen. Look at this headline from NPR News, and keep in mind this is not a Babylon Bee satire article. This is real. Check it out. With violent crime on the rise in Minneapolis, City Council asks, where are the police? And if you go to read the article, it's nothing short of a stunning display of the kind of moral absurdity that's taken over the hearts and minds of leftist public servants and media outlets. The article actually takes seriously the kind of conversations that you would hear at these public forums. The meeting was billed, and I kid you not, it was publicized as a Minneapolis City Council study session on police reform. This is after the City Council voted unanimously to abolish the police. One of the City Council members, this guy by the name of Jamal Osman, testified that he was inundated with complaints from residents in his district that their calls to the police were going unanswered. And he complained, and I'm quoting him, that's the only public safety option they have at the moment, the MPD. They rely on the MPD, the Minneapolis Police Department, and they're saying that they're nowhere to be seen. So let me get this straight. You vote unanimously to abolish the police department, and then as a member of that very city council that voted to abolish the police department, you testify that your constituents are disillusioned that when they call the police, no one responds. Do you know what I find most bizarre in this whole scenario? It's actually the media. It's the way the mainstream media, in this case, the Minneapolis Public Radio, NPR, is actually reporting this, right? They're reporting this clown show, this lampoonish clown show with total moral seriousness. Now, keep in mind, this is the same mainstream media that had no problem over the course of 4 years condemning, denouncing, deriding President Trump as the single greatest threat to American democracy in the history of the cosmos. The same media that believed that it was their moral duty to call out the neo-fascist racist evils of the Trump administration 24/7. This very same media can't so much as muster a syllable of moral seriousness when reporting on this complete and total breakdown of social order in our cities ruined by the Democrat Party. I mean, the Marxist media literally goes from heckling President Trump, mocking and ridiculing him as embarrassment to the office, to revering and celebrating rabid, radical leftist city council members who who are overseeing cities that are absolutely imploding. I mean, it's nothing short of a parody of repulsiveness. And it's the residents of Minneapolis who are the ones that are ultimately suffering. And even that, frankly, it's a result of their own doing. I mean, they're the ones who are voting these moral zombie Marxists into power. They only have themselves to blame in the end. So as it turns out, once again, we can all see how leftism doesn't work at all. Minneapolis has become a symbol of the Democrat Party. Minneapolis, all along with all the other cities they've ruined, is a symbol of the debilitating effects of leftism on society. And ironically, if their actions are any indicators, even leftism's most ardent defenders appear ready to admit as much. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it. It's actually on how Trump once again emerges victorious from an impeachment fiasco, all as 3 leaders of the Democrat Party collapse. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.